Good day, class. Today we will discuss another topic, and it's all about identifying and describing formulaic sequence. Can I ask if how is everyone doing? Are are you ready to gain new knowledge today? That's good to hear. Now let's proceed to the objectives. Now, the objective of this lecture is that at the end of this discussion, students should be able to explain what formulaic sequence is and should be able to use formulaic sequence. Now, before we start the discussion, is anyone familiar of this topic or what is formulaic sequence? Mm-hmm. That's good. Now let's proceed to the formulaic sequence definitions first. Now formulaic sequence, it encompasses a continuous or discontinuous sequence of words with a syntactically and semantically well-formed structure which can be stored and produced holistically. This is by Shi and Ding 2011. Now, for David Wood, it's a fixed strings or chunks of words that have a range of functions and uses a speech production and communication, and it seemed to be cognitively stored and retrieved by speakers as if they were single words. Now, for Alison Ray, it is a sequence continuous or discontinuous of words or meaning elements which is or appears to be prefabricated, that is stored and retrieved whole from memory at the time of use, rather than being subject to generation or analysis by the language grammar. Now for S. van Kexkes, if I said it right, it is a multi-word collocations which are stored and retrieved holistically rather than being generated do novo with each use and are either more than the sum of individual parts or else diverge significantly from a literal or word for word meaning and operate as a single semantic unit. Now, there are a lot of definitions about formulaic sequence, but what does the said definitions really mean? Now, formulaic sequence can facilitate fluency in speech by making pauses shorter and less frequent, and it allows longer runs of speech between pauses. Formulaic sequence are phrases that are stored and easily retrieved for smooth and connected oral communication. Formulaic sequence include but are not limited to idioms or multi-word metaphors, collocations, phrasal verbs, and chain-based formulas. Now, the use of formulaic sequence is an important skill to improve oral language development, as I said, or fluency. Now, formulaic sequence can serve as a cover term for a variety of related phenomena, also referred as lexical phrases or chunks, including first, the collocation, like for example, tell a lie or heavy traffic. Second is idioms, and the examples are turn the tide or back to square one. Third will be the binomials, and the examples are cuts and bruises or research and development. Another one is the standard similes, and the examples are clear as crystal or dry as desert. The fifth one will be the proverbs and cliches, and the examples are when the cat is away, or that's the way the cookie crumbles. Now, the sixth one will be the discourse organizers, and the examples are on the other hand, or having said that. Now, for the last one, which is the social routine formulae, and the examples are nice to meet you or have a nice day. And those are the phrases and its examples. Now, formulaic sequence are some of those chunks of language that will help students avoid awkward or misplaced pauses. The use of formulaic sequence cuts down the awkward pauses again in the middle of clauses uh, that, as identified in the definition of fluency, are signs of non-fluency. These sequences can act as bridges which allow language learners to produce automated expressions with native speaker familiarity of meaning without, again, awkward pauses or unfamiliar runs of words. Another example are verb tenses, because it could be practiced while formulaic sequence are learned to express creative ideas. Verb tense could be discussed with the use of greeting like how are you? This greeting could be used to have a conversation about the past or be changed to how have you been? To have a conversation about the past. And I think that's the end of our discussion. Now, before we dismiss, I want you to study the chunks that I have mentioned earlier, because we will be having an oral recitation activity tomorrow, and I will give some example phrases, and you will have to identify what kind of chunks it is. And I guess that would be all, and I will see you on our next meeting tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day, everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye.